I'm Dr. Joseph Reed, and I want to talk with you today about something really important. If you're a manager, if you're a leader, if you're someone who has to get things done through and with others, then the motivation of the people you work with probably really matters to you. Unfortunately, the motivational climates of many of our work organizations probably aren't as positive as they could or should be. According to a recent Gallup poll, 51% of workers in the U.S. are not fully engaged in their jobs, and 17.5% are actually actively disengaged. Kurt Kaufman calls those actively disengaged individuals cave dwellers, constantly against virtually everything. And the youngest workers, the millennials, they're the least engaged of the entire workforce, with only 28.9% fully committed to and enthusiastic about their jobs. A work climate that fails to motivate is costing your business money, both in the short term and in the long term. Demotivated employees come late, they leave early, they miss deadlines, they spend time complaining, they spend time gossiping. They may not have the ownership or the initiative, the accountability that you really need. Demotivated employees are very noticeable, but they're only the tip of the iceberg. There's another type of motivational challenge that's even more costly and that often goes unnoticed. According to the research, there's a whole other group of employees who probably aren't fully motivated and committed, who may be operating beneath the surface of your managerial radar. Because the employee isn't fully motivated, they're not working up to their potential. They probably show up on time, they go through the motions, they do what you ask them to do, but they still aren't completely invested. They don't demonstrate all the initiative, they don't accept all of the responsibility, they're not proactive for the important parts of their jobs. They may wait to be told what to do, or they may only do what they've been told to do. They apparently don't feel ownership for some of the work that they do. And because of that, their performance isn't as good as it could be. They're not performing up to their potential. How much productivity, how much performance, how much money are those employees costing your organization? Several studies by different researchers can give us a little bit of understanding about that. One study found that companies with low motivation and engagement earned a whopping 32% less operating income. Another study found that companies with more engaged workforces grew their profits 3 times faster and had employees who were 87% less likely to leave. Think about the cost of employees leaving your organization. And another study found that disengaged employees cost their employers on average another $3,400 for every $10,000 of annual salary. Motivation fuels performance. The results your team produces are driven to a large degree by their commitment, by their engagement. Now, people are pretty complex. There could be a lot of reasons why a particular individual lacks motivation. But as we step back, as we increase our view, patterns start to emerge. The single most important factor affecting an employee's motivational climate is the practices and the behaviors of the direct manager. The Gallup organization, I mentioned them earlier, estimates that 70% of an employee's motivational climate depends on their direct manager. Again and again, study after study, they all point out the importance of the relationship between the direct manager, the operational manager, and the employee as being the key factor driving an employee's motivational climate. An individual's current motivation could be dependent on a variety of different factors. What's happening at home, their health, past work experiences. All of those things can have an impact. But if you're working with an associate who seems to lack motivation, who isn't demonstrating the initiative that they could or should be, it could be a problem you inherited, or it could be something happening outside of work. But in a lot of cases, you as the manager can have a profound impact on it. So, as a leader in your organization, you need to examine your beliefs and your practices for building a motivational climate. The beliefs that you have about what motivates your team will drive your management strategies and practices. Those strategies and practices are the things that will directly influence the type of climate that you create for your people. If you have the right beliefs about how motivation really works in organizations, it'll lead to practices and behaviors that create a motivated team. The wrong beliefs are likely to lead to the opposite: disengagement, demotivation, and lower performance. And that's costing your organization money.